Come by here, y'all. The time is an essence. They hear it in our message. You have revealed to us the blessing that comes after the testing. Toda, y'all. Toda, y'all. We are waiting on the Exodus, praying for the rest of us. It shall be greater than the first, for the captivity is the worst. Come by here, y'all. You are our strong tower, for we know not the hour. You are our power, our enemies you devour. Come by here, y'all, in the time of darkness. The world is heartless, missing kids on carton. Who would have thought this? Come by here, y'all. You are in control. You got the nations on hold. The wicked must fold. The story is told from the times of old. Yaakov got next. You can find us in the text. We're the apple of your eye, and our God don't lie. They desire to consume us, but we did not die. Come by here, y'all. Come by here, y'all. Come by here, y'all. It's what we cry. You're the Elohim of our Father, from on high. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Save your people.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Please save your people. Save your people. Please save your people. We cry to you. Yeah. Please save your people. We cry out to you. Please save your people. Please save your people. Please save your people. It's really going down. It's about to go down, down. Really going down. It's about to go down, down. We the people. Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema, Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema, Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema, Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema, Shema. Israel. We the people of the book. I stay humble, I ain't even boasting. I'm just here telling you facts. No more secret, it's gotta be spoken. We out here living a lie. 3/5, but they say that we equal. So put your hands up in the sky. Represent for the chosen people. Melanin, yeah, we got a lot of it. I can see the fear in them when they look at it. Lacking understanding, cause it's their nature. They don't fear God, but concerned about some glaciers. They always wanna justify, define themselves not guilty. Pride so puffed up high, living in iniquity. We the people. Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Shema, Israel. We the people that they took. I stay humble, I will not be shaken. My people is starting to wake up. Their mind scramble, need a shake up. They rewriting history, whitewashing images, forgery. It's all a conspiracy, crafted counsel from our enemies. They stole our identities, done away with our heritage. Had us working in the fields, broken, we can't get no settlement. So cruel, they took it too far on them people that resemble Kadar. Perpetually, they really hate us, but we quickly coming out of our haters. We the people. Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Israel, with the people. Shema, Israel, with the people. Shema, Israel.
Shouts out to my people, miserable to straight hallelujahs. 400 years, better let it move ya. Messiah coming, better let it soothe ya. Whoever knew we would be great. On the slave ships, we were stowaways. Never made sense that we were throwaways, but it makes sense we hit fadeaways. Swish. We serving the ultimate power. The most high, get them hands high. His son in the ultimate hour. Same people eating that manna. No, we gotta get that bread. In the raised lines, carry no manners. It's the true now, Lord in my head. Ironic, we grew up in wards. Projects, boroughs, and the ghettos. Between us, there's always a war. Check out Kings and the Chronicles. Brothers overseas, same movie. Escape out of Mizraim. Worship and praise out of our cage. Dancing is all in our dreams.
Shema, Israel, with the people. 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 It's really going down with the people. It's about to go down with the people. It's really going down with the people. It's about to go down. It's really going down. It's about to go down. It's really going down.
Hey, shalom, y'all. It's Michael Israel, and you are watching Spiritual Combat. And today's show, as you can see by the title, is Biblical Relationship Principles. Okay? And we are continuing our series. We are on, part 4 of this lesson. And like I said, we're going through the different, we're going through, trying to say it the best way, the specific requirements that are needed for a relationship to work. And what you're going to see with the stuff I'm saying here, and the stuff I've been saying in the series, is you're going to see that this isn't any kind of watered down, debatable things or requirements that I'm talking about. This is very concrete, understandable, explainable. If you don't agree with it, I can further explain it. But what you're going to see, the stuff that's required to make a relationship work. So, and when I say what's required to make a relationship work, I'm talking about if you're a man, there's certain things that the woman requires, and if you're a woman, there's certain things that the man requires. And what you're going to find, if you have in relationship trouble or something like that, you're going to find you're lacking in one of these areas. And a lot of times it's hard to face, and a lot of times people don't want to teach on it because they want to cater to people, keep their numbers up or whatever, and they don't want to tell them, the real deal. So, anyway, so what we're going to do, I see people slowly filtering in. But, yeah, so what we're going to do is, like I said, I'm going to do a review of kind of what I've already taught on, bring us right up to speed and continue forward through this thing. And like I said, when I teach lessons like this, I absolutely, I try to go, it can't be one-sided. Um, one of the things I found is, you have people out here, they're going through situations and they're counting on, um, it's imperative that the information be good. And what what I found out there personally is trying to find some good relationship information out there is just oof, it's terrible. It's very one sided. A lot of it is feministic in nature at best, and it's just it'll get you it'll end the relationship quicker. You know, a lot of stuff just encourages you to worship the woman even more than you're already doing. You know, and then you completely turn her off. You know, and then you come into the Hebrew Israelite community, and then you have a lot of people out there teaching the other extreme where you gotta put your foot down and roll harder, and it's still a turnoff because you're basically doing the same thing. You're just overcompensating. You're not really being yourself, and it's sloppy. So the reason I do a series like this from time to time, and I speak on in the majority of what I teach on spiritual combat is kind of geared towards this type of stuff, is because nobody else is really bringing anything worthwhile out about it. Okay. So with that said, I see folks beginning to come in on Facebook. I want to say shalom to Shauna, REI, shalom, Mikael Gabar, shalom, Mark. I'll hit you up. I know I didn't get back to you yesterday. Angela, shalom, and Vicky, shalom, Shaka, shalom. Good to see you in there. All right. And then on YouTube, they are still coming in over there slowly. And that, YouTube is well, shalom to y'all watching over there on YouTube. Okay? So anyway, with that said, what basically, if you haven't caught part 1, 2, and 3, what I'm teaching here is what I would call biblical masculinity and biblical femininity. Okay, and not according to, I guess, the status quo or whatever you want to call it, not according to what everybody want to teach out there, to the cupcake and candy cane thing where they want to make everybody happy, particularly, and really not tell you why your relationship is a disaster and all that. What I'm teaching here, I'm just coming straight down the middle, and let the chips fall where they may. So that said, let me there we go. Pull up some notes here. So just to review, it's called biblical masculinity and biblical femininity. So what a woman needs from a man, talking about the biblical, is biblical masculinity. What that is being able to give the woman affection, direction, and correction. The affection isn't just the romance and all that stuff like that, and the intimacy. It's also being affectionate and sensitive and showing empathy. And when I say that, I want to clarify specifically what I mean. And that's what I'm going to do through this whole thing as I teach this, because that's I see a lot of people leave a lot of gray area for interpretation. And when you're in an emotionally charged relationship with strong emotion, that's the last thing you want is like gray areas. You need to know exactly what's going on. So, all right. So there we go. I'm just getting all my notes pulled up here. Or lack thereof. Not completely done, but we'll be good. So, so we're gonna quick. So what we covered in the first one was the affection, which is sensitivity and stuff like that, and that's not being soft and crying and running around in pink shirts and acting like a woman basically, and you're a man. That's not what being sensitive is. Okay. What being sensitive as a man is in a relationship when it pertains to women is being able to understand what the woman's behavior is communicating to you. Okay? And we as men struggle there to the point where a woman will tell us something, and half the time when they're telling you something, they're not logically telling you something. They're kind of communicating how they feel. Now, my wife, Cora, she makes the point, and she's right. There's times where she communicates exactly what's going on. But sometimes there's times where they're saying stuff and they're acting a certain way and they're behaving a certain way, and sometimes they don't even know what it is that's bothering them. And us as men, because we like in this culture, and you'll probably see it in this lesson, or if you watch the other parts of this series or other lessons from me, we as men, we got to realize how feminized this culture is, how there's an attack on masculinity, how they and how that's brought into a relationship and how it works against you, because women are attracted to men. Okay. And like I said, this society does everything it can to spiritually castrate you. And you have to know that and spot that in yourself where you've been spiritually castrated as a man. Okay? By this society. And when I say by this society, by everything around you, by your parents, by the media, by the religious establishments, by everything. And then you get in a relationship and the relationship starts getting all crazy and you can't figure out for the life of you what the heck the problem is. And then a lot of dudes will and women a lot too, would just get frustrated and just rather the relationship be over. Okay? So what I'm doing is meticulously and minutely, like breaking down exactly what it is to where there ain't no wiggle room. It's just gonna be spot on what I'm saying, and question it. Like I said, I always encourage people, man. You watching me, man. You need to question everything I'm saying. Like I said, you could contribute, question in the comments, whatever you want to do. Question it, man. Question what I'm saying. And what you're going to find is going to sharpen me up. You're going to see, you're going to know, that this ain't no house of cards. This is a house of bricks built solid on what I'm saying. It's built off scripture. Okay? So anyway, what happens, we get in these relationships, we're spiritually castrated, and you know, we we're not. So somebody has to explain this to men to to be sensitive to what's going on with the woman, be able to kind of diagnose, hey, what's going on? Because a woman is a barometer. Women are attracted to men. Okay, women are attracted to masculine men. Okay, and they're a barometer to how much of a man you're being. Okay, so if you're not being a man, they're not going to really be attracted to you. So when I say be more of a man, dudes is like, what do you mean? Like, what is that? Like, what, they have no concept of what that is, because if you were raised a real man, it's so basic and ground level and foundational, well, you could just walk in it. But to men who've been raised in this feminized society, that's all they know. It's like you being raised as a masculine man is like foundational to the point where it's like walking. You know what I'm saying? Or even more basic than that. It's like balancing while you're standing. It's like, okay. But to a man who never learned to walk, he's like, well, I am walking and they're crawling. You know what I'm saying? So going back to what I'm saying, you got a lot of feminized men out here who have absolutely no idea that they're walking around feminized. It's like telling a fish, it's like trying to teach a fish how to ride a bike. And you're trying to start explaining that to him, and you're telling the fish, well, you're wet. And he's like, what's wet? And they don't get it. It's like breathing. Yeah, it's that basic. So fast forward to what I'm getting into, and that's why I break it down in the lessons so simple. I'm gonna bring in plenty of scripture too, but that's why I break it down so it's so obvious to people. And the whole thing is really simple, and counseling, when I do the counseling with people, is very simple. But what's complicated is a programming that they've given us in this society, in this culture. All right, so my man Shaka put that feminist movement hurt our people, plus removing the male from the household hurt as well. Yeah, and that's by design. That was by design. That was by design, and a man raised. And I've had brothers break this down. They were saying that, in the Bible, the kids would stay with the father. In this society, the kids stay with the mother. That's a whole nother discussion. But the thing is, when somebody's raised, when the father's not in the home, it's a huge mess. There's a lot missing. Like when a man is not in that home, a lot is missing. There's a lot missing there. It's a big deal. The man needs to be in the home. I'm not gonna go in. I'm not gonna go into that because that's a whole lesson on what's missing there. But I will, this to make it simple. I will say this: what's missing from men, and I can tell you what's missing from women too. When you're raised up in a home and your father's not there, or a biblically masculine man is not there, is when you're growing up at that age where you're like a sponge, that model is not there in front of you to take in, and not somebody sitting there teaching on a board, but when you learn through example, through observation, through watching. So when that man's not there and you don't see that dynamic play out, you don't watch that man deal with his wife, your mother, in a masculine way, act like a man, and you don't see a healthy dynamic there. You don't see and watch and observe and experience a healthy dynamic and interaction of man and woman where the man is running the show. Because sometimes these kids grow up in houses and their mother or the wife treats the man like a third child, or however many, like another child. Talks to him just like she talks to the other kids. So they see that dynamic. A lot of women grow up in that. So what happens when a man grows up that way, in a home like that, or a man grows up in a home full of women, or a man grows up in a home dominated by a strong woman, then when he gets in a relationship, he repeats that, and it's a turn off to women. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So you don't think, oh, that's some concept you came up with, Michael Israel. No, I'm gonna show you what the book said. All right. So I'm gonna pull up Ecclesiasticus 25:22, or otherwise the book of Sirach. I'll put it up here on the screen. And it says, Ecclesiasticus 25:22, a woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. Okay? So a woman, when she has take on the lead, be the lead, I guess I'm stuck for words right now, but it'll come to me. But the best way I can say is when the woman got to run the show and take the lead. And I'm not saying like I could have, like you might have a smart woman who's very educated, who's bringing in big money and all that stuff like that. Because the Most High has blessed. I've met women out there that are very smart and on point and wise and all that stuff like that, and they're bringing in big money. They're good. So I've that's cool, but we're talking about something different. Cause man, we're gonna break this whole dynamic down. I'm not, cause you got men, because they're not biblically masculine men, and we're gonna get deep into this, to where, and so if they have, so these men, because they're not grounded in who they are, they have a woman who makes a lot of money and it makes them insecure. They got a woman who's bringing in big money because she's wise, she's smart, she's educated and all that, but that intimidates them. You know what I'm saying? And that is where this lesson gets real heavy, to where it's a game changer in that whole dynamic. Because it says a woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. All right. I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna define all these words so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Then I'll go deeper into what I'm talking about. Impudence, the quality of being impudent. Oh man, I hate when it does that. We'll just go impudent. Okay? Impudent, not showing due respect for another person. Okay? And then reproach. Okay? Well, I'm gonna just we'll just define it quick right there. It says reproach, address in such a way as to express disapproval or disappointment. So they're disappointed. And what are they disappointed about? They're disappointed because you look like a man, you got a nice beard like a man, you got an attractive face like a man, but then they get to know you and they see he's not really a man. So now they're disappointed because you can't. They're not turned on and attracted to you, not because of your looks, but because you're not acting like a real man. Be patient. I'm gonna show y'all what acting like a real man is. But I just want to make that point that women are attracted to men. And with that, whatever you want to call it, attraction, love, into, oh, they like bad boys. That's what everybody wants to say. Well, she's stupid. She like them thugs. No, it ain't she like thugs because they selling drugs. The thug is showing masculine qualities. And we're going to get into what those masculine qualities are. But the thug is showing masculine qualities. And a lot of these not a lot. All these feminized men are not. And it's a turnoff. Because women are wired up to be attracted to men acting like men, exuding masculine qualities. And so the best way I could boil down exactly what masculine qualities are, or being a man is being independent in how you think as opposed to her. So a lot of men are like, treat the woman like mommy, and what do I do? And oh, she's mad now, and this, that, and the other. And like, for instance, with me, like, I care what Koya thinks, but like, her being upset with something I do or whatever doesn't shake up my reality. But I watch some dudes, man, you think, like, the way they talk about their wife, I'm talking about, there'd be dudes at my job, it'd be big dudes, man, dudes that intimidate me, But the way they talk about their wife, you think their wife look like, Dwayne Johnson, like The Rock, or some big dude. You know what I'm saying? Some big linebacker at home, that was an MMA fighter. Like, that's how they talk about, no, I gotta get home on time, or this, that, the other. And when a woman knows you think about her like that, like mommy or something, and like you some little 40-pound kid, and she the big 130, 140-pound mommy with the belt, that's how dudes treat their wives. It's a turnoff. All right, let's see. Yep, the society says money is power. Yeah. But see, I'm glad you put that there, Shaka. This society says money is power. Like, what I'm going to break down to you here, when you're operating in biblical masculinity, it's at a woman's, we're talking about how women function at their core instinctual level. So when we talk about biblical masculinity, it trumps all the stuff they mothers is putting in their head, that society's putting in their head, that these religious establishments are programming them with. All that stuff. This is a woman's core instinctual nature that the Most High Yah put in her. Okay? Again, he made women to, it said, the Bible says, the man is not made for the woman, but the woman is made for the man. And when you treat the woman in that way, righteously, I know all the feminazis is up there with their eyes like waiting for me to say something that they don't like. But when you treat the woman in that way, they can't resist the way the Most High Yah made them. They naturally respond to it. Hence, a woman, if she maintains her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. The Bible tells you to rule your house well. Okay? Let me see. The fruit of this. Let's see. Have you known? And then this is just the hierarchy here. 1 Corinthians 11:3. But I'm not going to get all the way into that because I think a lot of men misinterpret this. Okay? But we'll get into this. And then this is 1 Ezra 4:26. And in this is in the Apocrypha. But with this book, with this here, I would advise to read this verse in its whole context. To read it in its whole context, you need to read chapter 3 and chapter 4. Then it really brings it into the heavy wisdom. But it says, yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. Okay? And that backs up the scripture, children are their oppressors and their women rule over them. And when you were specifically told to rule your house, okay? And then I got to balance it out, not rule it like a dictator. Because in order to rule your house, and this is what I always tell men, because this is the other thing I run into all the time. Dudes, 1 minute dudes be telling, oh yeah, the Most High Y'all put her here for me. And then a couple months later, oh man, nah, she wicked ock. She disobedient ock. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I gotta cut her loose, ock. It's just, she full of Satan. I was like, dude, come on, man. So it tells you to rule your house well. Well, you can't rule your house well unless you rule your spirit well. And a lot of men can't deal with frustration. So the women start acting difficult. They can't figure out why. But the reason, a lot of times, one of the reasons she's acting difficult is because you're not being a man. She Ecclesiasticus 25:22 in on you. So, and that's why she acting like that, because you're not being a man. So, and then the dude can't figure it out, because only information he got is what society done told him. So he trying to throw more flowers and chocolates at her and worship her even more. And she get even more Ecclesiasticus 25:22 on her. Get more frustrated and reproachful. And no good deed go unpunished. And they telling me all this stuff. When the reality is, the first step is you got to rule your spirit. You got to rule yourself. You got to be able, as a man, you got to be able to deal with frustration. Okay? Because you can't be a leader out here and be easily frustrated, as y'all saw yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Then, so you got to be able to deal with frustration. Then you got to realize, look, I just need to lead. A woman is going to have her emotional moments. They from time to time, they get on their emotional roller coasters. You can't jump on the roller coaster with her and be on the roller coaster. So you got, and everybody has got sucked into jumping on the emotional roller coaster with them. I mean, we're all susceptible to it. But as a wise man, ruling over your spirit first and your emotions, you got to just sit in the emotional theme park and just watch the roller coaster ride sometimes, and just it don't last long. Eventually, it ends, and then once the ride comes to an end and she gets off the emotional roller coaster, y'all just keep walking through the theme park. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of dudes, I see them, man. It's like they jump on an emotional roller coaster with them. And it's funny because these same dudes do not get along with me. Like, they naturally don't like me. I can always tell a dude whose wife dominates them brutally because they come at me some type of way. So, and it's across the board consistently. I remember there was a dude at my job. He'd start all this trouble in the shop all the time. And then come to find out, somebody told me, yeah, man, he like idolizes his wife. Like, his wife got him wrapped around her finger. And it's like consistently, it's like what you begin to see when you study this stuff, you see patterns, that are like, they're just as consistent as 1 + 2 = 3. And that's one of them I've seen. When a dude is just when a dude's wife is maintaining him, it's like they naturally are at odds with me because I represent everything they're not, So it's like it's a spirit. Exactly. Like Mikhail Gabar was saying, one of the an analogy I use is a lot of men are like in a woman's emotional storm, in a woman's emotional hurricane. A lot of men are like, either they're like oak trees. So these are the real dudes. These are the dudes where the woman start blowing and they just snap, crack, and they break. Or you got your feminized men who, when a woman's emotional storm, the winds blow up with the woman, they're like tumbleweed. They're just blown all over the place, But what I say, what you have to be like is like a palm tree in a woman's emotional storm. You gotta, you get into it a little, but it doesn't affect your reality. I watch dudes, man, they women start acting up and it literally affects their whole identity and reality. And what it is, I'm going even deeper because I'm just slowly taking it deeper. What it is worship. It's like in Colossians, it's the worship of women. Women are worship. And on the surface, it sounds pleasing to a woman to, oh yeah, he looks up to me and this, that. But instinctually, they're turned off when a dude is just treating them like some, my beautiful black queen. You know what I'm saying? They don't like that. It's a turn off to them. They don't. It's a complete turn off, dude. And I mean, if any of y'all want to, I can stand on that strong if anybody wants to challenge it. And like I said, it's nothing, you should challenge what I'm saying. It's nothing. I won't get mad. I don't get mad if you. I encourage people to question what I'm teaching so that you can have a and shalom, Malaya, good to see you now. So you could have a heavy understanding of this word, you know what I'm saying, and of what's going on, and you see what I'm really talking about. Because I might miss something, and you might think what I'm saying is off. But what you'll find is, if you challenge what I'm saying, you'll find what I'm saying to be very solid. Okay, so if you feel I left something out, definitely, question it, question everything, man. All right, so going back. So biblical masculinity. So like I said, the first one is affection. Being sensitive, and we're still recapping from the first couple of lessons, but you could go back and watch them. But being able to be sensitive to what's going on with her, being able to understand what she's saying by her behavior. Because if you just listen to what a woman's saying and process it through your man logic, because like me, if I talk to another dude and I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling that, this, that, and the other, that's what I mean. It's directly connected to what I'm feeling, whatever. Women ain't like that. They communicate with their behavior and all that stuff like that. And what I want to get back to is when you've turned a woman off because you're not being a real man, she can't articulate that. Neither can a man. And even now, it's hard to articulate, hey, you're not being a masculine dude. You're being needy. You're treating me like mommy. Like, if you don't know that and you ain't been taught that, you can be... So to expect a woman to be able to articulate the fact that, dude, you turning me off because you ain't masculine. That's why a lot of dudes are single. The single reason why a lot of dudes are single and they can't meet a woman and relationships don't work is because they ain't masculine. And a woman is like, she could see masculinity in you better than you can see it in you. So a woman, woman ain't attracted to you. It's you. Like the women, the market has voted, and you're not a man, so you got to man up. And I'm telling you, I'm just being 100 because I'm at the age of 27. I hadn't been in a relationship that lasted maybe over a month because I was so needy and feminized and weak and soft and all that. I had to man up. I had to humble because it was humiliating. And all praises for humiliation because humiliation brings humility. Humility. I think I said that right. That's what it brings. Okay? And in bringing that, then I could be built up. And I wasn't lying to myself. So, understand that. I hope I broke that down good. But, yeah, this is real talk. But a lot of dudes lie to themselves. They're like, oh, no, it's just, no, no, the reason she didn't, the reason she told me the reason she broke it off with me is because she said she had to, she got a pet poodle and she had to take more time. She didn't have time for a relationship because she had to feed her dog and get to work on time. So that's why she broke up with me, Michael Israel. Like, dude, come on out. I mean, they'll tell you anything because they don't even know. They just know they're not feeling you. Because a woman is sensitive and she's very in touch with what she's feeling inside. Sometimes they can't articulate it, but they know, I could tell you stories about real men. And I mean, you got women, correction officers breaking dudes out of prison because of how they feel about them. But yet, she broke up with you because she had to take more time with her poodle so she could get to work on time. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all laughing, but they give you silly excuses like that. All right. So, to put, Shalom, Brother Mike. I'm no expert in this, but I have some points to add. Men have to understand their own emotions and avoid lying to themselves. There it is. Taniqua. Okay, that's what she put on YouTube. And that, I'm telling you, that's what I did for 27 odd years till Most High humiliated me down to a little nub, to nothing, and then built me up into a biblically masculine, emotionally independent, comfortable in my own shoes with myself, man. And yes, absolutely. I'm glad she articulated that, because sometimes I can't say stuff good enough, but she put it into better words, saying that dudes ain't honest with themselves, because I gotta be a man, I gotta maintain my pride, and they're not being honest with themselves. Dude, you needy. You worship women. You weak. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, and all this stuff. And we're gonna get into what all that is. Like, that's where I go on a whole nother level that nobody teaching on, where we're gonna get into what it means to be a masculine man. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So yeah, Shakai, yeah, they'll tell you anything, man. Because you so, like, when you needy and you soft and when they gotta maintain you, like Ecclesiasticus 25:22 said, it's so icky and nasty, you not being a real man. They'll tell you anything just to get away from your needy, effeminized self. And you got a lot of dudes, they're like, oh, okay, guess I'm gay, okay, and they become, a gayfer. And dude, like I said, spiritual combat, 100 ministry. I'm keeping it 100. If you're gay, that just means you are a quitter. You're not a fighter. You just gave up. Like, it's easy to be gay. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to be a real man. If you don't think it's easy to be gay, just go to Atlanta and go to one of them, and it's easy. They lined up out there, okay, tearing each other apart and sinning hard, just destroying each other. To be a man is to fight, to be a warrior. You know what I'm saying? I could go on that. I could go on that on a lot of different angles, but I don't want to get off topic. Commitment and agreement. Lady B said, "Good morning, Brother Mike. I have to admit that I feel like I have to be the dominant one in the relationship I move on." Well, like I said, a lot of women feel that way. And I make them feel different. No, I'm just look. Let me break this down, because I want to say this the right way. I don't want to. I don't want to be mean or nothing. But if I talk to a man and he tells me that, hey, she feels like she has to be this, I just tell the man, dude, be a man. And like, I don't care what she feels. I'm telling you what you need to be according to this book. And then I talk to a woman. So I come at a woman a different way. I'm not going to tell, okay? Because I tell the woman, and like I said, don't think I'm being one-sided, because I started out with biblical masculinity, then I transitioned it into biblical femininity, and I get into all that. But I'm gonna address your question of what you said, because you said you feel like you need to be the dominant one. And let me break that down. All right, hold on. So I'm going to show you a verse. I think it's Peter. Okay, hold on. Nope. I think it's that verse in Peter. I have it here, but it tells you going into what you're saying. A lot of women feel they have to be dominant in the relationship because they've had years of programming. They've all they've had their whole lives is bad examples of men. Okay, men have let them down. You got a lot of women. It's over 50% of women been raped or molested by the time they're 20. All the women been dogged out. They just seen a bunch of sorry models of men. When you look at the media, you see that they're programming you of female dominance. You go to the schools, they're programming female dominance. You watch your mother and how she operated. Everything you see. God forbid you go into these damn gay Christian churches and, oh my goodness, the first line of the first thing they want to do is spiritually castrate the men. And you got a bunch of men running around in there. It's like, dude, all the Christian preachers and people caught up in Christianity that are involved in it, men-wise, majority of them look gay. Look like they're wearing makeup and go get their eyebrows trimmed up. And it's scary. It's like, dude, it's like, I don't even want to be near these dudes. So, understandably so. I was talking about this earlier. They feminize the men and make the woman masculine, you know? So, naturally you're going to feel that way. But what does the Spirit say? Because you're saying what you feel. Yeah, they program you through your emotions. But what does the Word say? The Word shows you all through the book what your role and your duty is as a woman. Okay? Let's see. So, let me see if I can find this verse. Because it shows you all through the book the woman's role, and they never read it. Because what? They want to beguile women for filthy lucre's sake. Okay? So let me see if I can find this verse. All right. So yeah, I was looking. So there's one verse. It says, it tells the woman that if your man is not leading, if your man's not being a real man, it gives you instruction on what to do. It basically tells you need to encourage your man using your feminine ways. And you know, women are detail oriented. They watch everything. They figure a man out to a T. All of his little buttons and how to influence him and get him to do whatever they want. Well, influence him to be a leader. Nobody's telling you that. They just shaming the man. But influence him to be a leader. And I'm trying to find that scripture where it says if your man is not in the truth and walking in this word, without the word, you can win him by your behavior, by you being a quiet, shamefaced woman. All right? So the sister who asked the question, she said, somebody said they putting soy in the stuff. So the sister who asked that question, the sister that asked that, she said, that's a fact. No masculinity around when I was growing up. Either on drugs or the woman rule. I'm trying to fix myself now. And understand, that's a spirit. Like that was, let me tell you, this is the core level deception of Satan. Is right here, where we're putting our finger on right now. You look, me and the Ak was talking yesterday. Okay. There's drama going on all over Israel right now. And you know what it's all surrounded around? Is men not having their women in order. There's a lack of order in the Hebrew Israelite community, and you got women acting up and men not doing what they need to do. And it all comes back to, I blame it all on the men. Like, just look around and look at the stuff that was kicked off by women. Okay? And I don't blame the women, because the men are told all through the book to have their house in order. But a lot of men are feminized, and they women is just out there running wild, doing all types of emotional and crazy stuff, and just the drama is just escalating to the point where it blows up and it's all over social media. And then I get involved because I'm that dude, and then they looking at me some type of way. Well, get your house in order. Don't get me started, y'all. Don't get me started. Oh, don't get me started. All right, y'all put a lot of stuff in here now. They said our women can sense that neediness. Yeah, women can naturally sense neediness or weakness or feminized behavior in you as a man. And some women, like a real evil woman who's given over to that spirit of masculinity in herself, so-called, oh, I'm a strong, independent black woman and I gotta be heard and I gotta run my, ain't no man dominating me. And they're like in covenant with that masculine spirit in themselves. They will spot neediness in you, and they'll be like, well, that's good relationship material. And they get you and they will castrate you even more. And then the next thing you know, they find out you a DL brother running around taking it up, you know where all that crap go. Like, it's a Jezebel spirit. They literally go around castrating men. And it's, boy, I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you something heavy. I've come around women who have strong Jezebel spirits, and they either do one or two things. They either come right at me and try to check me, to which they quickly realize they done ran into a steel wall, or they just don't say a word to me. And it's like, I know there's a spirit world, because it's like the only way they know that is because they spirit see my spirit somehow. So like the sister said, they can pick up on that neediness. And they could pick up when you ain't needy. And the same thing, like a real feminized woman can pick up on your masculinity, and it's very attractive to them. That's why I went all them years with no women, because I didn't have a masculine spirit. As soon as I started putting on a masculine spirit, I had to, the women throwing themselves at me. They're not attracted to looks. You could be a big, fat, nasty slob. If you exuding the spirit of masculinity, which that's what we're teaching here, the woman will be flocking to you. But they can, like the sister said, dudes ain't honest with themselves. Like, because I be seeing them. I'm talking about in the Hebrew Israelite community. I be seeing dudes, I was like, that's a gayfer, and he definitely feminized. I spot him instantly. And it's a shame. I was telling her yesterday, like, you got women out here shaming. Anytime somebody raise up a little bit in masculinity, there's women out here in the Hebrew community that jump on that. I see the feminist agenda, feminist spirit on some of these women. But they'll let a faggot run around out there, or a homosexual run around out there all over the place. They cool with that. We upside down. And that's, again, it goes back to, that's why we got all this drama going on right now. You know, Sister Koya is not that type of woman to where she would be out there causing drama. She do not like drama. And when drama comes this way, she really don't like it, to the point where then I gotta stop her from trying to stop the drama, because she want to jump and cut the drama off at the source. Okay? But she don't like it. But even if she did, I wouldn't have it. I would not, she wouldn't be out there acting up like some of these women do. But some of these women, and some of the women out there doing this stuff, I don't even know if they married. So, I don't know. But it all goes back to the same thing. Man, y'all put a lot of stuff in here. Let me read some of y'all's comments. We want to be married, but we don't want to go through the church. Where should we go? Good question. What I tell everybody is, you want to be married to somebody who's grounded in this word, a like-minded person. So if you watching Bishop Toodles on there with flowers all over the place, and he running around getting sweaty, looking homosexual and everything, and all the men is like, go faster and all that, they ain't like-minded. So the first thing you need to do is find where they're teaching like-minded beliefs, like-minded stuff. Okay? So now you know. And I'm telling you, that's what spiritual combat do here. Homosexuals ain't going to sit up under spiritual combat too long. Either they're going to be forced to change or go. Some thug mo woman, masculine, feminist, feminazi woman can't sit up under what I'm saying too long before them demons in them like, hey, we need to exit stage left. So they either got to stop watching me or they got to begin to change. So naturally, if spiritual combat puts on an event, guess what's going to be there? A lot of people who are like you and want to meet the right person. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to promote spiritual combat events and stuff that I do, but so what I'm telling you is, okay, if there's a ministry like that, go to their events. And guess who's going to be there? There's going to be women there who want to get their minds right. There's going to be men there who don't want to be gay first. They want to be real men. And they're really challenging themselves and being honest with themselves. And if they're going to be honest with themselves, then they're going to be honest with you. Same thing with the women. You're going to find women there who truly don't want a Jezebel spirit on them. They want the Jezebel spirit off them. So then now you got something to work with in a relationship. But if you go to one of these watered down, and it's in the Hebrew community too, sloppy, messy, non-truth addressing ministries that's out here that just talking about doctrine all day. It's like some of these Hebrew groups out here they got the same spirit on them as a college history class. They just know a bunch of history and doctrine. And they wicked as they could be. But they got them scriptures memorized. So go to places where the spiritual growth is happening. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, case in point, we're doing a Tampa Shabbat in Tampa, Florida, May 18th. Come on out there. And I'm sure, they ain't going to be, there'll be a lot of spiritual combat followers, There's other ministries out there that I'm sure are teaching stuff similar to mine or whatever, that do events or might have a organized ministry or whatever. Go to their events. Go to them. Go to those events, And so you can meet somebody. Because if you just meet somebody at the grocery store, it might be Jezebel reincarnated. And you get married, put the ring on. honeymoon ends, and she pull out a whip and like, now get in that kitchen, boy. Rap out. Do what and you like, and then I see you 2 years later, and you got arch high heels. You wearing a pink shirt with some guy makeup on, and I'm like, what happened? Who's the man in that relationship, Ak? You need some spiritual combat. Yeah, man. So yeah, I could go into this real deep. Let's see. I always say that women choose their boyfriends, but men choose their wife. No. What happens is you get two desperate people who haven't done any work on themselves, and they come together to create a natural disaster. That's what happens. Okay? Because a real man, like me, once I got myself together, I got myself right, I realized what was going on with me and what the whole situation was. I became biblically masculine. I learned about women. I was picky about what women I would even talk to. If I saw, you could see a woman with her haughty behavior. You could look at it from a distance. The Bible talks about it. I wouldn't mess with them. Some woman with all her hips and dips and wearing tight clothes, I wouldn't talk to them. I wouldn't deal with them because I already know where they spirit at. I was ruthless. I just disqualified, till I met the right one, So, yeah, it's not like that. It's just desperate, dysfunctional people choose desperate, dysfunctional people. And they come together to make Voltron and of a hot mess. And then you see it in the Hebrew community, and then they come together. It's a natural disaster, and it just spins out. If it's messy enough, it plays out across social media, like we have right now. All right. That's facts. No masculinity around when I was... Okay, so she just... Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of their wives. And nobody wants to teach that one. That was that scripture. That's 1 Peter. I need to put that in my thing here. Let me put that here because I was supposed to put it in there the last time. I appreciate you putting that in there, Taniqua. Thank you. All right, let's see. Peter. So, I'm going to type that in. I can't multitask. All right. I'll put all the rest of the stuff in there later. Okay. Who's adorning, and it tells you how they need to be dressed too. A lot of women take on a masculine energy unconsciously because they are working women that have took on the male roles of providing food, shelter, and are paying bills. No. Because when you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, she worked, she owned a business, she was doing work. So you can't say that. And my Koya works. She pays bills. She's shaking and moving. Koya is the busiest woman I know. Koya get up early, go to work, get off work, pick up her kids. She comes home, makes dinner, works her business that she has, and then does keeps me happy. You know what I'm saying? Koya go hard in the paint. Very hard working woman and very soft and feminine. And so no, absolutely no. That's a Jezebel spirit that's on our women that has been bred into them from their upbringing, from them not realizing, from Christianity, from these religious establishments. And when I say religious establishments, I'm including the Hebrew Israelite community too, because there's a strong feminist presence in the Hebrew community. Nobody's encouraging our women to be 1 Peter 3 verse 2. What it is there's a lot of demonic possession. A lot of women are possessed with a Jezebel spirit. Nobody's telling them about it. Nobody's encouraging them to deal with it or to challenge it or to get delivered from it. They're in covenant with it. And then a lot of women harbor bitterness and unforgiveness because of things that have happened to them in the past. A lot of these women have had abortions and stuff, and they haven't dealt with that. They haven't been honest with themselves about that. And it makes them into monsters. Same thing with our men though, because I'm coming balanced with it. Because the men are the source of the problem. Same thing with our men. The men are lust-filled, pornography, one-handed internet bandits. Addicted to porn, and it weakens you. When you're addicted to porn and you're a man, you're weak. And women can see, and it weakens you because now you're not confident in yourself because you go home and you whack off. And you're a one-handed internet bandit. I was for years. I had to overcome it. But in overcoming it, it built confidence in me. It built masculinity in me to where women, they could see, hey, he's confident in himself. Yeah, because I'm a warrior and I'm a conqueror and I'm not scared to fight. And I started fighting inside myself first. Dude, so many of these men out here are so weak and soft and given to their emotions. You got men out here, they can't deal with their anger. They haven't challenged anything in themselves, and they're not warriors. They're feminized gaffers. And I don't rock. I rock with warriors or aspiring warriors. I'm not rocking with people who are lying to themselves, men or women alike. I'm sorry I went on a rant, but I told y'all I'm going down the middle on this lesson. All right, a lot of women unstable household negatively affects the youth and causes vicious cycles of abuse in our people that we don't recognize until we all are damaged adults due to messed up childhoods. But this is book. These are the curses. This is what Christianity is not teaching. This is what the Hebrew community, look, the Exodus is getting ready to happen. We get ready to be up out of here in 2019. Heck no. Dude, you know how much we got to deal with? We can't even come together in marriage, let alone community, because all the demons we got to deal with first. We far from being able to come together. All right, I'm not going to get all the way into that. It says when women don't have the stress of providing and hustling for themselves and family, they can be in their light free, feminine energy. But it's hard to balance masculine and feminine for women. I'm sorry, sis. Look, I've seen stay-at-home women with Jezebel spirits. So that don't fly. Like I said, that's no. There needs to be deliverance. Like you could put a woman in a perfect household, and I've watched them tear it down. Same thing with a man. You could give a man the perfect woman, but if he's the wrong man, it's not going to work. We're talking about spirits here. It says we war not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. You talking about sex magic. Molestation is sex magic. Homosexuals, people don't think homosexuals reproduce. They do. They reproduce spiritually. They damn other people with spirits and bring, it's sex magic. These people do stuff to these kids at a young age. Child molesters and homosexuals and all that stuff do stuff to people at a young age, and they just reproduce. The sister said the cycle. It's messy. And it takes spiritual combat to fight this thing. It's spiritual war. And it's initially when you begin to, and what I'm trying to do is shed light on something in you that light has never been shined on before. And it's literally like if you had your eyes closed all night and I shine a light on it, I got to be careful. I have to use wisdom when I shine this light on this area that's in us all. The light is on in this area in me, but you have to use wisdom when you begin to shine the light on these areas inside people, because if you turn the light on too bright, it's going to blind them and they'll make excuses of it's all this other stuff. No, you got to, a lot of women are demonically possessed. If you were molested, if you were raped, if a man dogged you out, if you had an abortion, with almost 90 or more % certainty, you're demonically possessed and you got work to do, because it's going to put all these spirits on you. If you're a man and you're feminized, if you were raised by a dominant mother, you are demonically possessed with an Ahab spirit, with a feminized spirit. If you're struggling in relationship, you can't get a girl. If you're not confident enough to just walk up to women and stuff, you got a spirit of fear on you. You demonically possessed or oppressed. It's not a game. And people will tell you it's everything else. But no, it's this. Period. And I'm not just saying it because I'm saying it because I went through it. I was demonically possessed with a feminized spirit, with a spirit of fear, with a lust spirit of pornography addiction, with a spirit of alcoholism. So I'm not just the spiritual combat founder. I'm a client, like that dude said. I'm not playing on here. If y'all want the watered down stuff, there's plenty of ministries here y'all could go to that will make you feel good and water those excuses you have. But I'm trying to, ever so gently, I'm not trying to put the light on real bright. I'm trying to slowly turn the light up on an area that is uncomfortable. You're going to be like this as I turn the light on, because it's an area you haven't taken a look at in yourself. And it's why everybody has relationship problems. It's why most of these black women are single. And they can't stay in a relationship because they don't realize, they can't see this. They're saying it's the man's fault because I'm working and everything else. And they will never come to the truth. Because what? They're not willing to look at where the issue really is. If you think I'm playing, go watch the lesson I did. It's called The Vicious Cycle of Lust, Molestation, and Rape or something like that. Go watch that. Or go watch, Past the Feel Good or Past the Cupcake and Lollipops, where they speak to us good things that tickle our ears. Or this don't tickle. All right, let's see. Marriage is the foundation. Now that I'm seeing my errors and trying to fix that, how do I help my nephew, because he's picking up feminine energy in regards to arguing about everything. He's questioning Yah and if he's real. Look, the way you gonna help somebody, if you want to be the strongest witness to somebody, if the most powerful, effective witness you could be to somebody is not memorizing all these daggone scriptures. I could barely remember a lot of scriptures. I got a biblical understanding though, but it's not memorizing and well, this one ties into this one. No, it's when people see you being it. There's no more powerful, effective witness than that. Brother Mike, I think there are two viewpoints: married folk and single folk. Single have no choice but to do for self, but in a marriage there should be balance, but the man is the head. The man doesn't have to be the breadwinner. It says if a man provide not for his house, he's worse than a publican. It's talking about leadership. Because I can't tell you the number of men that I know provide plenty for their house, and their house is a cursed disaster. But then I could show you men who barely bring anything into the house, but because they're masculine, biblically grounded leaders and they're directing things in a wise direction, their house is at peace and blessed. There is no getting around getting your mind right, whether you're married or single. You know, and if you married and you're not in order and you ain't got your mind right and lined up, and if you're married, the warning signs for you to get your mind right are going to be way louder and way more obvious. Okay? That's so different. Right, we have to look within and at ourselves before we point fingers at the other person, conquer our own demons and spirits, ask the Most High to deliver. I'm a witness client myself. Yeah, it's you look, let me, like, I'm gonna shoot straight. Like, when I was single, I had been in the church my whole life, all the way up till I was 27 or whatever. They would have told me stuff. They would have fed me bull crap for another 27 years to keep me comfortable with being sorry. They wouldn't have challenged me. But faith without works is dead. Sitting there saying, oh, the Most High, I understand, and making all these excuses. No. Get to work. Get the demons off you. Get your mind right. Go through all the craziness that's up in your head, or you're a liar. It says faith without works is dead. The book is the whole deception is them telling you that. This is the whole deception. Them telling you, oh, the Most High understand. He gets you right. You know, he understand you like touching little boys. Or, oh, he understands you a lust-filled dog and you like running through women and looking at porn. The Most High, you know, we not perfect, you know. He understands that you a child molester. You ain't perfect. Bull crap. Get it right or die. Get your damn life together. Cut these idiots off talking all this crap to you because the book told you to get your damn mind right. Period. There ain't no excuse. I was miserable and lonely for 27 years because I neglected to get my mind right. When I stopped walking around all faithful and holy and I started putting in work and doing the works, that's when the results happen. Plain and simple, man. It's not a game out here. They ain't gonna get it. Nobody else, you ain't gonna get it. Like, other people teaching this, but I'm teaching it too. Stop making excuses and get your life together. Get to moving. Or you're gonna tune back into spiritual combat in 20 more years and be in the exact same position and say, "Oh Lord, understand." And it'll be like that thing where they say, "Oh Lord, the Lord be like, man, I sent a rescue team, I sent a helicopter, I sent this." You know that thing where they say, there's a guy standing on top of a roof and the waters were rising. And he sent a man. And the man said, "Hey, come on, it's going to flood." "No, the Lord got me." And then then the waters rose high. He sent a guy with a canoe. A guy with a canoe came. And he said, "Hey man, get off that roof." And he was like, "Nah, the Lord got me." Then the waters got even higher. And he sent a guy, and a helicopter came. And he said, "Come on, man, get in here. You're going to drown." And he's like, "Nah, the Lord got me." Then the water rise up, he drown, he go to heaven, and the guy's like, the guy's up there, "Lord, why didn't you rescue me?" And the Lord's like, "I sent a man, then I sent a dude in a canoe, then I sent a helicopter." That is this. That's this. It's hard to face the hardest thing to do, and what the whole book is telling you is to face these demons in yourself and these issues in yourself. After you overcome that, everything else falls into place in your biblical understanding. You see where it's coming from. All right, let's see right. How does a man stand in the midst of all this and take charge of his house? Warfare, baby, go to war. But now I understand. It's an uphill battle. An analogy I can give is, and you might need to email me and talk to me on the phone, but to stand up and take back your house, I'm going to tell you straight up, it ain't going to be easy. There's going to be some conflict. But like me, I don't wear camouflage and say spiritual combat and be about warfare for no reason. I'm a soldier. This is warfare. I'm comfortable with the uncomfortable. Sometimes I got to be the bad guy and stand up for what's right in my house, in my relationship around other people. But that's the results of sin. But in doing that, it builds confidence and strength in you. And it begins. It's like, Mike, you're bench pressing 100 pounds. I can only do 10. How's a man to bench press 100 pounds? Start bench pressing 10. And then soon it'll be 15, then 20. It's a process. It's war. You got to begin training to be a soldier. They've been training you to be a Disney World character for years. They've been training you to be Goofy and Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck in these religious establishments for years. Now I'm telling you to be Rambo, be Rocky, be Commando. Now I'm telling you to do that. It's going to take time. How you eat an elephant? That's what he just asked me. One bite at a time. All right, providing. And that's what spiritual combat does. All my videos are geared towards helping you rule your house because you're commanded to rule your house. See, a lot of people are making excuses for breaking Torah because that's breaking Torah. I watch a lot of dudes, teachers, folks call themselves moray. In one lesson, they'll say Torah 30 to 40 times, and their whole house is a hot mess, totally against Torah. They sloppy. They in sin. That's going to be a bad look. So providing is a masculine trait, though. I don't know a man that is happy with himself that can provide financially. Well, I do. I mean, so what you're trying to say, and again, this is, you got to get understanding here. I've seen women leave men who make less than them, okay? I've seen women leave men who make more than them. Just because you bring in a lot of money into your house does not mean you're providing for your house. If you don't provide for your house spiritually, it will be destroyed. Why you think you got these houses with these girly men in them and the wife rules over the man and the house is all messed up? Then the kids grow up and they repeat that cycle and their marriages are disasters. It don't got nothing to do with money. You can have a man working at McDonald's and a woman is in corporate America, but if that is a biblically grounded masculine man, it ain't gonna be an issue. I could go on and on forever. Women are not attracted to your career or whatever, like a gold digger is. They could care less. Like, if you exude masculinity, they're going to be attracted to you. And if you are biblically masculine, they're going to really be attracted to you. And it has nothing to do with money and income and all that. It don't. Now, in an insecure man's mind who hasn't shined the light on himself and worked on himself and faced himself, he's going to think it's everything external. Oh, this is why. No, that's something working in your head to prevent you from seeing the fact that you are feminized. And women aren't attracted to you. It don't got nothing to do with money. I'm telling you, I could go all into that. Because, and I showed you the scripture in Ecclesiasticus where it said, I'll go back to it. It says a woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. And maintain, you're going to say maintain means support him financially. I'm telling you, case in point. I've seen men bring in millions of dollars into the home, but he's not a leader in the house. He doesn't rule his house. He's serving and worshiping the woman or whatever. And the woman is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. Just like the verse says. Go into the verse where you said, you're talking about the verse where it says, if a man provides not for his house, he's worse than a publican. Or, so what's a publican? Look up what that is. You know what I'm saying? You got to look up what that is. Is it better for a man to provide leadership, a little bit of income, but he provides leadership, spiritual guidance? He's protecting his house physically and spiritually from different influences coming in. Is it better than that? Or are you saying, no, he has to provide money. He has to provide more money than that woman. Go see how that works for you. I guarantee it won't. So, and be with him as far as, let's see, let it shine. Let's see, and if he can't provide, surely why would a woman want? Okay, so look at this. We're going into it again. I'm going to prove this to you. Okay, so check this out. So Sister Blessed Angel, I'm glad she put this in here. Because I like don't think, because I appreciate you questioning what I'm saying, sister. So she said, and if he can't provide financially, why would a woman want to be with him if there's no security? Okay, so listen. Y'all women put in the comments, and your men could put it in there too. So look, ladies, I want you to think back in the relationships you've been in, okay? And that man that you were in a relationship with that just had you, gave you the naughty tingles. You was hot and bothered over him. And how did he act? Like, what made him so attractive? The fact that he didn't worship you and put you on a pedestal. Now, if I'm right, put it in the comments. Or were you so into him because he was, a professor down at whatever the heck? Is that what had your, was giving you the naughty tingles and had you all hot and bothered about him? You see what I'm saying? It's not a financial thing. A man who can make wise financial decisions and is bringing money in, a man who can make wise decisions, spiritually and financially or whatever. He not making quite as much money as you. You see what I'm saying? Is that what you're saying security is? Because I've seen, look at these women who have security. Look at, Atlanta's a good example. Look at these women who have security and just inside they just feel empty because they're not in a relationship. See, what the world brainwashes these women into thinking is that you have to pick a man based on career. And I'm telling you, you pick a man based on spirit, where his mind's at. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually. I'm not talking about some dude, okay, he's spiritually grounded, he studied the word, and you get married to him and he sits home and he plays video games all day while you out working. I'm not talking about that. A wise, biblically masculine man is going to go out and get a job. But he might not have a job on the level you have it. But if you make your decision off that, ooh, ain't good. But let me know. Brother Mike, when you have time, look up men going their own way. I already seen it, where they going down there to MGTOW. I know about MGTOW, but those are weak, feminized men too. They don't want to stand in the gap and fight for their nation and for their women and do the work that needs to be done to become. The MGTOW dudes ain't real men either. There's MGTOW and then there's another movement also, kind of that spun off that. The Sigma male movement and the beta, there's a bunch of these movements justifying men not becoming real men and manning up and learning how to stand up to a woman and win her over. Because once you're really grounded as a masculine man, even some woman who got it wired up in her head that she need to be running the show, you'll melt through that too. All right. You're right. It's not about money. It's about masculine energy. And masculine energy comes with a certain kind of hustle about yourself to provide financially and provide security. Exactly. And I'm not, like, the dude gonna hustle, but basing it off, oh, well, he don't have a college career and this, that, and the other. And I can't tell you the number of women that are running around with college careers that are getting with these men and then come to find out the dude's really gay and the dude gives them AIDS and all this stuff like that. It ain't got nothing to do with what this society has brainwashed you with. Because the society tells you, your mother tells you, oh, don't count on no man. Then you get in college and they telling you you an independent woman and you could do for yourself. And then you get in corporate America and you move up the corporate ladder. And I'm an independent woman and I could do for myself. And then you're 32 years old and you're independent and you're doing for yourself and you're lonely and you ain't got no kids and you sitting there wondering what's going to happen and your biological clock starts ticking and you're feeling empty inside. And then you're looking at articles, because the articles say what? The new face of depression, the independent black woman who's lonely. And it's because they brainwash you to serve Babylon and to make money and use your best stuff for Babylon. It's brainwashing. All right, let's see. My ex-husband made millions of dollars. There was still no security because he was a womanizer. He was a lust-filled dog that didn't lead his household. He was rarely home. I had all the money I could think of, everything I wanted. Look, I'm not telling you stuff that I cleverly thought up. I'm telling you stuff I've lived through. I'm telling you stuff that I've heard testimonies on and counseled people through. But you should question everything I'm saying, like the sister did. I don't mind. I like her questioning that. Keep questioning me. Before my Passover, I gave half my life to men I've dated. I was always the help. Fresh out of jail, I can help. No job, I can help. Oh yeah, have children, I can help. Yeah, sometimes we get tired of helping. Yeah, but let me address what you just said. A lot of women, if you haven't done the work, if you haven't addressed yourself and got your mind right, what you'll end up doing is emotionally choosing men, and when you go into a relationship with your emotions first and you're not evaluating these men according to what the word lays out for how you should evaluate a man and how a man should be, so you don't know what qualities to look for in a good man and you're just going on what you feel, you're going to mess up every single time. You're going to get them nightmares. You're going to have those classic, typical scenarios where you pick in nightmares out of emotions and desperation and other stuff, all this other stuff that's going on, and you're just going to be repeating the pattern. So if you said you're tired of helping, I teach women and men alike, you got to be brutally ruthless, because 90% of men are bad relationship material and 90% of women are bad relationship material, because 90% of people are not willing to do the most uncomfortable thing you could do. Look at yourself and get yourself right. So you're meeting all these men and they're nightmares. A lot, like I said, the trend in Atlanta is a lot of these career women are marrying these men in Atlanta and getting AIDS because they're desperate and they just want to get pregnant or whatever. They're lonely, and Atlanta has the fastest growing AIDS rate is among the women. Before my Passover, I gave my life. Okay, so what you got to do, sometimes you should get tired of doing things in error. Like if I could go all into that. I understand. Okay, I'm waiting patiently for my future husband. In the meantime, growing in all areas of my life. Yeah. And what I tell the women when it comes to that, like they're like, I can't meet a man. First, get your mind right. Get your spirit right, get your emotions right, get all that in align with the word. Because the word tells you to be a quiet, shamefaced woman. The book tells everybody to be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. So you need to be able to see deceptive people and all that, and increase your discernment, your spiritual discernment. The only way you're going to increase your spiritual discernment is by the only way you're going to increase your spiritual discernment is by doing the work on your own spirit. A lot of women, I be seeing the men they be choosing. I be like, ooh, that must have just been lust. Like, that's the only way she could have chose him. And I be seeing the dudes, I already know why they chose the woman. Like, she got a big old butt and she leave it hanging out, and that's why he chose her, and now his life is a nightmare. It's lust, it's emotion. But the book tells you don't choose people that way. All right, been there though, tequila, but when you know better, you okay. So exactly, and I have seen women hold a man down financially for years, and when he gets it together, he leaves again. Let me tell you something. When you get biblical understanding on how a biblical woman, the qualities that a biblical woman exudes, because you will know them by their fruits. And when you get the qualities for what a biblically masculine man and the qualities to look for in him, you won't make these mistakes. Because I can tell you, I could disqualify 80 to 90% of women without ever talking to them. Just look at them. Watch how they walk. Look at what they're wearing. And you could do the same with men. And the thing is, women are even more naturally discerning than men are. Like, a woman can discern a man better than a man can discern a woman. Because a woman is more sensitive. What we're talking about here is just a lack of understanding. My people perish for lack of knowledge. These silly religious establishments, tell me, y'all sisters talking about these situations with these men, name the ministries that you were up under and what they were telling you. Nobody's telling you these are the qualities you need to be looking for in a man. And going down the list. Who was telling you that? Okay? Nobody. I can almost guarantee. Our people are perishing. People out here dying because these silly places are just teaching you to worship the leader, and the leader of the place is telling you how great they are and how Yah calls him every morning at 9 on the cell phone to tell them what to teach. But it's really Satan. We talked about that yesterday. And they're getting you to worship them, and you don't realize it, and they're not telling you nothing. In the meantime, you getting destroyed and getting killed out here for lack of knowledge. But that's not spiritual combat. I'll tell you what, if you watch spiritual combat long enough, you ain't gonna meet the wrong man. I guarantee it. Because I'm coming with the survival scrolls on this mug. I'm coming with the book. And if you're a man, I guarantee you won't meet the wrong woman. Because what? I'm showing you how to do it through the book. If you do meet the wrong woman, you was in your emotions and you didn't get yourself right. I told you look, let me say this. Ain't no chance out here with what happens. That's what the point I was trying to convey. Stuff don't just happen because, it's just the men. No, there's always a reason. The common denominator in every problem I have in my life is me. So everything. And you think I talk hard here, you should hear the way I talk to myself. I know I'm the issue in all my problems. Every problem I had in my life could have been avoided by me. I don't blame shit. It wasn't the women. The women that I couldn't meet that dissed me for 27 years because I was a pussy. I was weak. That's why them women dissed me. It wasn't the women. It was me. I'm the common denominator in all my problems. That's humility. But let me say this. You won't know that until you're taught that, because these people don't teach it. With these ear ticklers do, these people who beguile silly women, what they do is tell you what you want to hear. You're not the problem. You're okay. Pay. Give me some money. And they keep telling you what you want to hear. I ain't asked you for a nickel yet. I'm just telling you what you don't want to hear. And if you don't like it, it is what it is. But I sincerely hate seeing our people hurt. And we can't build this nation. We can't move forward 1 inch. We can't even start a business together. We could barely even congregate together until everybody's in order. So the first step is this. All right? It ain't a game out here. Man, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I know I didn't get all the way into, this series is going to go on further. If y'all got any questions, y'all can hit me up on email. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope this was informative. If it was, Spiritual Combat on YouTube needs your support by having you hit the like button. So hit the like button on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, just come on out and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so that when I go live, you know it. If you are on Facebook and this video bless you, support Spiritual Combat by sharing this video. And we appreciate it. And hit the like button and all that. But with that said, I got a lot of work to do today. Gotta go out and do some work on my wife's car. Got some stuff to do around the house. So I'm going to be busy today. So I'm going to get to work. I appreciate y'all tuning in. And I hope this was edifying to y'all. I appreciate Sister Angel. I like being questioned, because you should question everything. Especially me. Question the heck out of me. Make sure what I'm saying line up with the word. And I appreciate everybody else who question everything I'm saying. Do that. And if somebody get mad because you questioning them, run quick. All right? Because you should question. There's a lot of jokers out here. So anyway, with that said, y'all, appreciate y'all tuning in. Shalom. Hold on. There we go. All right. Shalom.
It's really going down. It's about to go down now. Really going down. It's about to go down. We the people. Shema. It's really going down. We the people. Shema, Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema. It's really going down. We the people. Shema, Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema, Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema. Israel. We the people. Shema, Shema. Israel. We the people of the book. I stay humble, I ain't even boasting. I'm just here telling you facts. No more secret, it's gotta be spoken. We out here living a lie. 3/5, but they say that we equal. So put your hands up in the sky. Represent for the chosen people. Melanin, yeah, we got a lot of it. I can see the fear in them when they look at it. Lacking understanding, cause it's their nature. They don't fear God, but concerned about some glaciers. They always wanna justify, define themselves not guilty. Pride so puffed up high, living in iniquity. We the people. Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema, Shema, Israel, we the people. Shema,